Hi, I'm Paul Doherty. I'm an architect, a builder, and a real estate developer with TDG, the Digit Group. The idea of multifamily housing is a huge question that I think needs further discourse and a reimagining of what it was. Multifamily housing, especially in urban developments, in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and into the 70s, sometimes known as the projects, are definitely not the way to go. No matter how much that you can get dense urban type of clusters of housing is an achievable goal. We also have to have the humanistic part of this thing, the livability, the experience of how those people are going to live, taking pride of ownership of their home. So when we are going through our process inside of TDG, we focus back in on what we did in Shanghai, China, which was to create a factory that would create panels. This industrialization of that product being the panel, not the home itself, became a huge breakthrough because we were looking at villas or single family housing as a very good solution for places like Australia that we were exporting from Shanghai with our products. But what we soon realized was that the site utilization where we were building these homes also needed to have a consideration. The impact of having a single home as opposed to clustering these homes together became a design desire of ours. So what we do is we put up some measures based upon single family homes as opposed to multifamily housing. And what we found was that certain building types and in certain markets, it made extremely valued type of building type. In today's world, places like Nashville, Tennessee, one of the hottest markets in the United States right now for housing because of its explosive growth, right now has a negative 72,000 unit need. Now, does that mean that we need to create 72,000 individual single-family homes? No. What is selling right now are clusters of 4 different homes that are pushed together, almost like a condo from back in the 80s, right? But with a very clever design where we're able to maximize the amount of land that is required to create these clustered types of multifamily homes so that they become livable, where we have, the ability to have a garage on the first floor coming into a second floor that is, the family room, the kitchen with then the bedrooms up on top, but potentially also with a balcony up on top. That's what's selling in Nashville. But what would also sell are other types of clustered housing, meaning that it doesn't just have to be those 4 units. But imagine now if we could create almost like a court that allows us to have 4 units, those 4 clustered units in a series of let's say 6 or 7 locations, right? And then being able to utilize the land in such a way that you're starting to limit the amount of water that's necessary, the amount of energy that's necessary, the amount of roadways that you need to pave. Now all of a sudden things start to make sense that are measurable against a single family home, which is where you start to get the value of showing real effect on the environment and climate change, because now all of a sudden you're limiting by percentages all of the need of having to spread out rather than have it clustered together. We're also taking a look demographically in many communities about people that don't mind being part of a clustered environment. That whole notion of having, a single family home with a driveway, with a car in it, with grass on the front lawn is being challenged, right? Because of its inefficiencies to not only the environment, but also for the cost of what that means. One of the largest demographics right now in the U.S. is not, build a home to own, but build a home to rent. And that's sign of the times. Just the expense of these single family homes that the average person can no longer afford, but they still want to have pride of ownership. So when we start to take a look at different delivery systems, meeting a need of let's say Nashville at negative 72,000 units, we're now looking not so much of reducing costs, which the clustered housing does do because you're doing things like shared infrastructure, shared ways of building materials. That's one way of saving money. But what we're doing is we're decreasing the amount of time, because now that it becomes a huge element in the valuation of each one of these homes. How fast can I get in, right? So that means that we have to look at the problems right now all across the US and across the world with housing, especially multifamily, would be the expertise in how to build these things. There's the lack of labor. So when you put all of these factors into play, what we're looking at right now is a high growth of manufactured products that can become multifamily homes that can be measured against single family homes as to why it's better for the environment, why it's better for people, and create a strong sense of ownership and community. And this is where we're seeing the state of multifamily housing today.